The opening round of the New Zealand Rally Championship was run in dry and dusty conditions in the Whangarei round 2, a wet, muddy, slippery rally in Otago. After those 2 rounds, the husband and wife combination of Richard and Sarah Mason, 13 was their lucky number in Otago because they won all 13 stages. Going into Rally Whangarei, they had a lead of 29 points and were threatening to run away with the title.
The World of Rally returns to the north of New Zealand. Whangarei plays host to round 3 of the Vantage Aluminium New Zealand Rally Championship, alongside the FAA Asia Pacific Rally Championship, led by the Aussie Cody Crocker. Last year, Kiwi star Hayden Paddon won the rally outright and put his name on the records as one to be watched. This year, he's back to defend his title. But can he tame the Taniwha again? Isn't that a beautiful setting? It's the town basin in downtown Whangarei, heart and soul of the NAC Insurance Hella International Rally of Whangarei for the weekend. The service park is going to be based just along here from this magnificent nautical setting. Fitting too because, of course, Whangarei, huge in the marine industry in New Zealand. And, of course, this is the gateway to the winterless north and the fabulous Bay of Islands. And because it's also part of the Asia Pacific Rally Championship, we decided to start with a nautical theme. What better way to welcome everyone with the traditional Maori way, and that is the Waka Challenge on the harbour. 3 teams, 3 boats, Cody Crocker. Superstar Rozzy decided to be a spectator, so Dean Herridge, on target for the Pacific Cup, took over to lead the Australian Challenge.
This is an oar, apparently. I had it the wrong way to start with. But I don't know if it's good to be out the front or good to be at the back. I haven't worked that out yet.
The Kiwi boat featured the man leading the championship at the moment, Richard Mason, but led by Emma Gilmore. The white boat features the New Zealand juniors. And it's the Kiwis, led by Emma Gilmore, coming across to take the lead. Australia struggling. There's Emma Gilmore putting the power in. Remember, we're very good at sitting on our backsides going quick. And it's the Kiwi kayakers with Emma Gilmore and the rally superstars from down under beating the Aussies. Well, what a great way to start the weekend with the New Zealand teams winning that Waka Challenge. Ka pai. Talking about cars, fantastic roads up here in the far north. Roger Davis. It's going to be one of the highlights as our New Zealand guys go head and girls go head to head with the best from Australia and, of course, Asia as part of the Asia Pacific Championship as well.
Well, let's talk about the roads to start off with. The roads up here are probably the best rally roads in the world. The camber on these roads, they seem to flow nicely with each other. Beautiful roads to drive on. Now, the New Zealand competitors, Richard Mason, the first of them, starting 13-14 on the road. I think a New Zealand competitor could actually win again this year. Remember what Hayden Paddon did last year? Beat all the internationals, won the rally. Could happen again this year, Clint.
The other thing to watch out for is the Pirelli Star Driver campaign, giving a chance for 5 different drivers from around the world to race in the PWRC next year. This is the nominated event here for the New Zealand drivers, Whangarei. They do well here, the top 2 off to Rally Malaysia. How good is that?
Oh, it's a great opportunity for the young drivers, not only from New Zealand, from Australia, throughout the world, because there's 5 of them eventually do the PWRC next year. But you've got Hayden Paddon, Mark Tapper's in for a shot. This is a qualifying round. They've got to worry about that as well as the National Championship. But it's great for the young drivers.
So let's see how they feel about their chance to be the Pirelli Star Driver. When 27-year-old Mark Tapper realised that he just qualified for the Pirelli Star Driver Challenge, he decided to shift his focus from the New Zealand Championship.
Well, Mark, we didn't see you at Otago, so what's the plan for Whangarei?
We're going up there with the intention of concentrating on the Pirelli Star Driver opportunity, sort of not giving up on the National Championship, but decided to concentrate on something that's achievable and has a big reward at the end of it if we succeed.
Now, if you actually achieve something here at Whangarei, where do you have to go next?
Malaysia is sort of the final for the Asia Pacific region, but it's pretty much a clean slate when you go to Malaysia. You don't carry anything over from Whangarei. You just, if you get a decent result at Whangarei, you get a financial backing to go to Malaysia. So that's sort of the intention of doing Whangarei, and obviously getting some miles, because everyone else that'll be there will have been doing miles all year.
And his next problem was to find a competitive car to beat the rest of the young guns.
Yeah, it's all sort of starting over again with a whole lot more work on another car, but it's Dylan Turner's car, and he's done us a great deal with with a lease on his car, and I'm sure it'll be a good car. It's just, it sort of was as it finished the last round of last year's championship, so we're giving it a good birthday to ensure that we don't have any mechanical gremlins.
So basically you're doing an off-season rebuild in about 3 weeks? 2
weeks, yeah. And what are we, a week out now, and we've still got a lot to do, but no one ever said it would be easy, and I mean, it's all part of it, really.
And what a great opportunity, the Pirelli Star Driver campaign, giving a young Kiwi a chance to go overseas and mix it with the best in the PWRC. But of course, as far as the New Zealand Rally Championship is concerned, it's all about trying to catch Richard Mason off to a screaming start. But of course, last year, he came to a screaming finish on this rally. Here's Roger Davis.
Well, Richard, as Clint was saying, the disaster is something you really want to forget, isn't it?
Well, crashes are something that happen in motorsport, and you just get on with it, really. From our point of view, we were more worried about losing points than we were about damaging the car. We've got a job to do. Sometimes you damage the car and then you just get on with it.
Just talk about this rally, because this rally's been very friendly to you sometimes and not very friendly other times.
I'd say it's probably been more unfriendly to me than anything else. We've run good here on these roads, like WRC event, APRC event. It's been, good roads to us, but stringing it all together here seems to be fairly difficult for us to do. But I love it up here, it's awesome traction. You can really lay into the corners and get a lot of speed out of your car. It's good fun to drive, and I like doing it. But I don't know, we'll just have to get rid of the gremlins and get on with it.
Hayden, defending champion of this international rally, a bit of pressure on you?
Yeah, no pressure at all, is there? But, we've got to forget about that. Our main focus for this weekend is the New Zealand Championship, so we've just got to focus on that and try and close the points gap to Richard. And I think if we do reasonably well in the New Zealand Championship, a good overall result will come as well, because the road conditions up front for the Asia-Pacific guys are fairly not good anyway.
Just talk about the points. It's 29 points at the moment, the difference, so you don't really want that to get any further.
No, we don't. That's basically 1 day's a point, so we've got to try and claw that back. If we can get 12 points off Richard this weekend, that'd be excellent, and it'll make a big hole in that gap. So it's not going to be easy, though, as we found out of Otago. We're pushing pretty hard down there, and we didn't really make much of a gain on them.
I think the roads, they're fast and they're quite technical, so I guess a good clean line helps around here. I've got a bit more confidence this year than last year, so I'm hoping for a good run.
Chris, 53 points behind the championship leader Richard Mason this weekend. Must-win weekend, basically?
I don't think it's a must-win, but we must be competitive, and my main focus for the weekend is to put in some respectable times, and obviously competitive with Richard, and obviously with that will bring us hopefully the result we're wanting.
So the drivers are all pumped up for a fantastic weekend around these great roads here in Northland. Of course, it features the Hella Bridge, a hell of a stage for the spectators. And to check it all out, here's Emma Gilmore with the Vantage Aluminium Joinery stage preview.
Rally Whangarei starts exactly the same as it did last year with Whangarei. 19-kilometre stage, bit of everything in it. Pretty busy, definitely a wake-up call to the morning. Finishes off over the Hella Bridge before we head on to the next stage. After Whangarei, we head to Gull. Really good stage, this one, at 36 kilometres long. It's not the longest stage we do in the championship, but it's really busy. There's very, very few straights, so it's busy the whole way through, and you're definitely tired by the time you get to the end of it. After Gull, the brakes have had a real workout. It's only a really short touring distance to Cassidy, so it's really hard to cool down your brakes without overheating the brake fluid. Also a great opportunity for us to change our tyres front to back, because we might have had quite a lot of tyre wear in the 36 kilometre stage. Cassidy is another fantastic stage. Nice, fast, flowing, really awesome. It's good fun. Then head back to Whangarei and do the super special in town before heading back to service. After service, we head back out to the same block of stages. It'll be really important at service to pay attention to what the weather's doing, because if it's dry and the roads have swept off, it's going to be really hard and abrasive going back out there. So tyre choice will be really important. And likewise, if it's wet, the roads may have cut up. So again, tyre choice is going to be critical. Last stage of the day is the super special. Again, have to be careful here. Might not be a long stage, but it's definitely going to cut up. And it will be really important to not get a puncture here.
Coming up, it's a hell of a start to a hell of a rally featuring the Hella Bridge, world famous in Rally Whangarei. a clear, fine morning for the first stage. Whangarei and Richard Mason will be the first New Zealand car on the road. Remember, the APRC cars have already been through and swept that stage for the Kiwi in the B&T Subaru.
Go 60, 4 left plus, 30.
Well, that means Richard should have a pretty good road condition on this stage. But one thing Richard's done, taken a little bit of a gamble because he's gone for a very wide tyre.
Caution.
And these road conditions look fantastic.
They certainly do, Clint. Just interesting to note, Asian Pacific champion Cody Crocker was first through the stage and his time was 11:32.6, which is about 25 seconds slower than Dean Sumner's record from 2007.
Gets some air over the famous Hella Bridge coming down to the finish of the stage. What will it be?
200.
And he beats the Aussie, 11:26.
Well off the stage record.
Right, let's see what Hayden Paddon can do. Remember, he won this rally outright last year. We've already seen Mason. Can Paddon, in the Paddon Direct Evo, take the direct route for the stage win?
Well, I think it's a little bit too early for that to predict that at the moment. But one thing, Hayden is sick and tired of coming second, especially to Richard Mason. So I think we'll see a big charge. Remember, he won the rally last year.
Paddon screaming through the stage. Remember, they're running on WRF World Rally fuel. So they'll get a bit more power out of that than the pump gas they've been using in the other rounds of the New Zealand Championship.
Well, Hayden Paddon approaching the Hella Bridge now. And you can see a lot of steering movement, so it's quite slippery on the stage here just before the bridge.
Over the bridge, down towards the finish. Fantastic stage. Let's see what he stops the clock at. 11:20.6. Wow, that's faster than Mason. So it's game on. What can Westy do?
Well, hold all tickets here, Clint, because Chris West is major motivation today. He hasn't won a stage yet in this new car, but will this be the turning point of the season? And I'll tell you, he's trying. Look at the speed, Clint.
4 left plus into 3 right minus into 3 left plus.
Gary Cowan calling the notes. Of course, they've had success before driving a Subaru, but what about the Andrew Sims Mitsubishi?
50.
What about the pace he's driving at? He's actually throwing down the gauntlet, I think, to the other competitors. He's on a mission here, Clint.
Left over finish 180.
So he's over the Hella Bridge. Looks like he's on target for a top time. 11:12.2, 14 seconds quicker than Richard Mason.
Great time.
Mark Tabb is here to try and claim a berth in the PWRC, courtesy of their Pirelli Star Driver program. Of course, he's still in this championship as well.
As we heard at the start of the show, this is Dylan Turner's car. And, of course, last time it was on this stage, it ended up badly at the Hella Bridge.
Not this time. In fact, the Auckland driver's right on the pace, about a second faster than Mason. He holds third behind Hayden Paddon. Stuart Taylor comes into this rally third in the championship overall. Can he continue his momentum?
Yes, he's had great momentum this season. 2 third places in Otago. But it looks like he's struggling. He's gone off the road.
He's gone wide.
4 right tightens.
Hit a bank.
Wide, 6 right.
What a big jump. He's trying to make up for lost time.
And he's down on time too, 11:31.1. Rotor's Dean Sumner in the ITM Evo next on the road. 20 cars have already been through, swept the road. So he's got good conditions, Roger.
Certainly has. You saw in the previous shot, he was certainly trying too.
Over bridge, jump.
Now look at the line at the moment. There's a definite line there on the road for him. A little bit wide coming on the bridge.
3 right.
Great shots over Hella Bridge.
Left minus over finish.
Down towards the finish. He's slower still. 11:35.
This car's still right, dude.
Callum McInnes in the Milk Bar Subaru, 8th fastest, nearly 5 seconds slower than Sumner. 27 seconds down on the leader, Chris West. But what a drive here from local star Kirsty Nelson, 9th fastest, but just 0.2 seconds down on McInnes. After so many problems in the first 2 rounds, Emma Gilmore was just feeling her way. Good clean run with no problems here for 10th place. Brad Ayling going wide, another entry in the Pirelli Star Driver competition. Remember, they only get points for the top 3 fastest stage times out of those competitors. 12th for Andre Meyer, but the normally competitive Cambridge driver was 20 seconds slower than Kirsty Nelson. And Sloane Cox another 4 seconds back. So the battle of the teenagers has been turned right on its head this weekend. The Kiwi 2 cars will battle with the Fiestas on this rally, but being hybrid specials, they actually start after the FIA homologated cars. That didn't seem to affect Aaron Cook, though. The fastest two-wheel drive, despite taking out a letterbox and rear hatch. Grant Barber had an engine down on power, was just 15th fastest. Dave Strong and Aaron Cook have been so close this season, and this year those screaming Hondas have easily been quicker than the more sophisticated Ford Fiestas.
The Ford Fiestas are a great car, designed, of course, by the Ford World Rally Team. But what about these home-built Hondas? And can they rev? Well, they certainly can, because Dave just loves revving this thing. Let's listen to it.
Let's check out his time.
200.
12:16.8, so he's 11 seconds slower than Cook.
What do you think? Seemed all right, didn't it?
Ben Jagger's another local from Northland. Plenty of support for him in his home rally. He was the fastest of the Ford Fiestas, but only by half a second from the Aussie Brendan Reeves. He's been entered by Kane Barry Motorsport. Took no time to adapt from his four-wheel drive experience in Aussie, and he was matching the pace of Jagger. But frustration for Patrick Malley as he's caught one of the international entrants on the stage, so third fastest in the Fiestas, 19th overall. This is Sean Gray's second round in his V6 Mirage after missing round one. He was 20th, but losing nearly 30 seconds to the lead Fiesta and 50 seconds behind Aaron Cook. Not such a great start, too, for the other Cook, Reg, trailing the field here by about a second behind Gray. So an outstanding start for Chris West, leading the New Zealand cars and the rally outright.
Stuart Taylor battling his problem in fifth, and a conservative start from Emma Gilmore.
Brad Ayling leading rookie in 11th, and Aaron Cook leading Kiwi 2 in 14th.
Local Ben Jagger just ahead of the Aussie Brendan Reeves in the Fiestas.
And with the stages being so far from the base at Whangarei, it was a refuel of Paparoa and a chance to catch up with the leaders.
Chris, great start to the morning. You won the first stage. You're 8 seconds quicker than anyone else.
Yeah, the car felt really good, and obviously the work that we've done in between round two at Otago has paid off.
Tyre wear critical here. A lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, I think so. And we obviously I don't think we've quite got it right here this morning, but we've just got to probably be a wee bit more conservative through the next two, and ensure we get back to service, and then have a wee bit of a regroup and think about things, and maybe go a wee bit harder compound.
Yep. Richard, Chris West has gone 14 seconds quicker through stage one than you have.
Mate, that's pretty good, isn't it? For us, we had a little bit slippery across there. We've gone for quite a wide tyre, and hopefully it'll be better in the next couple. But yeah, that's quite a bit of time, isn't it? We'll have to pick our game up.
In terms of tyres, can you change tyres going into the next one?
No, we can't change tyres. We've only got the ones that we've got, so we'll be with what we've got. We'll do the whole lot. But there's a group of 3 stages, and we need to make sure that we're thinking of 3 stages, not one.
Hayden, talking to your tyre man, a few issues in stage one for you?
Oh, not really issues. It's just quite slippery, so we're just trying to find out where we are and what we can maybe do, or whether it's the tyres or the road. But I think the road's just really slippery.
The good news for you, you've gone 5 seconds quicker than Richard, but Westy's gone quicker again.
Yeah, the roads are improving with every car. I'm not sure how much faster Westy is, but it didn't feel overly flash on my behalf, so we'll go into this next one. This next long stage is pretty crucial.
Stuart, down on stage times, you got a problem?
Yeah, we started the stage with a boost. Well, the car's just developing no power and no boost before we even started, so it's... I'm not sure what the problem is, but it was very frustrating, and less power than what we've normally got on normal gas, so I slid wide a few times just with no ability to drive out of the corners and struggled a lot.
Well, the bad news is you've got 2 more fairly long stages to do like that.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what to do really, other than just try and get through them and see if the boys back in the service park can sort it out.
Next up, the longest stage of the day, the mighty Bull Road that's claimed many scalps over the years. Who will survive the stage? Who will come out on top as the rally rolls on? Welcome back to Rally Whangarei, round 3 of the Vantage Aluminium New Zealand Rally Championship. At 36 k's, Bull Road is the longest stage of the day. Extensive road rebuilding on this stage, though, has left thick gravel and some difficult conditions in parts too, Roger.
Yes, well, the stage is smooth at the start here, Clint. As you can see, it's very wide as well. This is a stage where driver needs maximum concentration because the road condition changes so much. But someone like Richard Mason has driven over this road many, many times before. This is where experience counts.
Junction seal
Now this is approaching the halfway point of the stage. That's his split time for the stage so far. Hayden Patton, the green machine, is next through. Remember, 8 seconds behind Chris West on stage 1. So with this long stage, you can still make up time and challenge for the lead.
Certainly can make up a lot of time through here, Clint, and what a fantastic road it is. And there's Hayden, a usual smooth style, very little steering movement there, and a great deal of concentration.
Unfortunately, we've got a slight technical problem with the onboard camera, so we can't hear the pace notes from John Kennard, what's going on inside the car, but that's the time approaching the halfway mark. Remember the split time. And he's already quicker than Mason. What about Chris West then, the current rally leader? What can he do? Can he hold on to the lead?
Well, if he can, Clint, what a boost this is going to be for the Rally Art Sims Mitsubishi team. Westy has struggled in the first 2 rallies this year with a little bit of bad luck as well. Only got close to Mason's pace at the super stage at Otago, which was tarmac. But he is a past champion, and if he gets a sniff of victory, then the championship could be in for a big shake-up.
There's a split time. He's 11 seconds quicker than Mason. And now we're back on board the B&T Subaru, getting down towards the end of the stage.
Well, you see how narrow the road is here. Oh, no!
Hold on.
Mason just clipped a little bit early on the apex, and it's gone over probably a couple of times.
Big damage in the B&T Subi.
Still go?
That's Sarah Mason, his wife.
Now been in a rollover.
Well, he's still got drive in the car, so he'll be able to get out of the stage, I think.
We talked about him coming to a screaming halt here last year, and deja vu again. Unbelievable.
See?
And the cars, look at the damage.
Yes, it's not very pretty. Richard, big damage on the car. What happened?
Just crazy. I felt there was something a little bit wrong with the brakes, and I was playing with them and not concentrating hard enough, and come round over a crest into a tight corner. And just rode up the bank, and you know how it goes from there, and I tried to steer out of it, but it just turned it over, and it was quite a few rolls, probably 2 or 3, I think. I think I counted the ground 3 times, hit my head on it.
Was that towards the end of the stage?
Yeah, it was very cless towards the end of the stage, so it's a bummer.
I see the radiator leaking, so that'll be it for the day?
Yeah, it'd only be foolish to go to the end from here, I think, unless I can patch that up, which I think is probably just risking too much. You know, I think what we'll do is we'll restart tomorrow.
Bad luck, Richard.
That's the way it goes.
So Hayden Patton now coming down to the stage end. Remember, he took the rally lead here last year. Can he overtake Westy? His time, 22 minutes, 42.5, outside the stage record. So Chris West down to the line on stage 2. Fastest time so far has been Patton. Cody Crocker next in the Asia Pacific cars, but his time is only 23 minutes. Westy, it's 22.35.4, faster than Patton by 7 seconds. He's still got a 15-second rally lead. Now, next through should be Mark Tapper and Stu Taylor, but look at this, it's Dean Sumner. So drama on stage 2 already.
Dean, a lot of carnage in there. We're missing Mark Tapper and Stu Taylor. Have you seen them?
No, sorry, I didn't see a thing, no Z-K's out or nothing, so I'm just assuming it's probably maybe mechanical problems.
Well, Mark Tapper did get going again, but he lost 2 minutes after going off into a field. And ironically, Stu Taylor went off in exactly the same corner, so now he's not far behind Tapper on the road here. One person who's still going is Emma Gilmore. Emma doesn't seem to be having any problems with the car, which is good news after a difficult start to the season.
Well, I spoke to Emma before the start of the rally, and she was very determined just to get through today with no drama and no pressure.
23.42, so well down on the front pace, though. Next through, Brett Martin. Opportunity for Brett to move up to the top 3 if he can edge past teammate Dean Sumner.
Well, thanks to Brett's new sponsor, Volte Waterproofing, we get, for the first time, to ride alongside with Brett Martin.
5 left.
23.14.1, he's 4th overall.
Fifth, my neck in that one.
Rough ride for the co-driver. Callum McInnes, 6th fastest on the stage, ahead of Emma Gilmore. It's important, too, that these drivers don't lose too much time to the leaders early on in the rally. Otherwise, it's catch-up. He suffered some cosmetic damage. Andre Meyer was the leading teenager, overtaking Kirsty Nelson when she crashed into a swamp early in the stage after a strong start. Speaking of strong, Dave Strong came to Whangarei with high hopes of overtaking Aaron Cook for the Kiwi 2 Championship lead, but his hopes faded here at the halfway point of the stage.
And a 2 left to Titans. 4 right minus, 5 left minus, and 50. Yeah, bloody joking.
Well, sounds like a diff or a gearbox, but his day would be all over, I'd say.
Stop it up.
Yeah, we've got another gearbox, and we're going to change it down the road on the intersection there when the boys get here, and we'll drive it back to the motel.
So if Aaron Cook can get his battered Honda all the way home today, he'll extend his lead in the championship. And the Aussie star, Brendan Reeves, showed just how competitive he could be in the Fiestas, 10th fastest. Ben Jagger matched his times, but look at this problem for Patrick Malley. He's caught 2 cars on the stage. And his biggest problem was due to this. Ito, rolling in the Rally Drive New Zealand car, smashes his rear vision mirror, so he's got no idea what's happening behind him.
And look at Crunch and that off. Patrick, a very irate co-driver. Did you get held up?
Just slightly. We caught 2 cars in there and we were stuck behind them. No amount of pushing, horning, anything. Couldn't see with the mud on the screen. Hey, we're going to get screwed on this stage, but that's okay.
Problems too for Grant Barber. That's a very sick-sounding Subaru spluttering through the stage. Reg Cook, gearbox problems, stuck in first gear. He would retire at the end of the stage in the Nissan Micra. Brad Ayling got stuck off the road, losing about 12 minutes, finishing the stage as the last Kiwi. So 2 stages gone, just 17 cars remaining in the New Zealand field. Now stage 3 passes under a railway bridge near the end, and this is where the spectators had gathered.
3 right plus opens.
Well, this is this railway bridge we're talking about, and look at this beautiful road.
Look at that camber, Roger. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's fantastic camber. The road twists and turns. Will be great to drive on, Clint.
West continued his lead here with a good time, 14 minutes, 31.9. Hayden Patton holds the stage record here, 14 minutes, 22 seconds, but the road conditions mean that all the times are slower than last year.
Well, let's see what he can do here at the end of the stage. 14:33.4, a second slower than Westy.
Mark Tapper back on the pace here too, 14 minutes, 41.7. He just needs to keep finishing second to Patton to be in the hunt for that Pirelli Star Driver competition.
Opens Kinks 100.
Now we're on board with Brett Martin, who got the better of teammate Dean Sumner here to move ahead into 3rd place.
Right opens over bridge.
Well, just look at the conditions. It's fairly dry, a little bit of dust coming up as well.
5-6.
Brett Martin looks very relaxed in the car too.
Dean Sumner, 6th fastest on the stage, 15 seconds slower than West. Stu Taylor climbed from 10th to 7th on the stage, but still complaining of low boost from his turbo. Callum McInnes moved up into the top 5 for the first time, was now the first Subaru after Mason's retirement. Emma Gilmore now 6th place, her confidence growing as she realised that this was looking like a trouble-free day in the Vantage Subaru for a change.
Well, let's look at the road conditions. A definite line here. A lot of cars been through the stage, but if you get offline, there'll be no grip on the outside. A little bit marbly too, the conditions here as well. Got to be a little bit careful. Oh, she has got to the outside. She's turned the car around.
So that's disappointment for Emma Gilmore, but she's going again. Right, a short sprint around the old dump site of Poe Island and Whangarei provided plenty of colour for the spectators, but at just 1.5 kilometres, there's not much chance to change position. And Mark Tapper turns it on for the fans. He actually went from 10th to 7th, while Stu Taylor dropped 20 seconds and 3 places to finish the morning in 10th after he did that. So Chris West leads the New Zealand Championship Rally and the rally overall, 19.5 seconds ahead of Hayden Patton.
Emma Gilmore in 6th, but she's already over 2 minutes down on the leaders.
And a great result by Brendan Reeves, hitting the 2-wheel drives on his first rally outside of Australia.
Chris, been a good morning so far. You've won every stage.
Yeah, I think it's, overall there's obviously a bit of an advantage being on road position, but, I think we've been fortunate enough. In hindsight, we may have taken too soft to Yokohama, but, we just got to focus on this afternoon and make sure that we get it 100% correct.
Hayden, usually you're following Richard Mason, but now it's Chris West. You're currently second.
Yeah, West is going really well. The stage has been really slippery, I thought, but obviously the same for everyone else, and the times aren't too bad, but obviously like to try and close in that gap on Westy.
Brett, 4 stages down, you're in the podium place at the moment, third.
Yeah, sort of the first stage went quite well for us, but stage 2, we went out on some softer cotton tyres, and I think they were a bit soft and just went off, so we lost a fair bit of time in stage 2. And then, stage 3 was fine again.
In a big battle with Dean Sumner, he's 6 seconds behind you.
Yeah, we'll just keep doing what we're doing for the morning, I guess, and just see how it pans out for the rest of the day.
Mark, a few problems this morning, but still the Pirelli Star Driver contest, you're going well.
Yeah, as I said when we came here, that was the main thing we had to concentrate on, and it was just an unfortunate mistake that we made in recce that led to going off the road, but I don't have to worry about it. I think, I can still easily be second of the Pirelli Star Drivers behind Hayden, so just got to keep on keeping on and worry about that.
Stuart, not the best of mornings. A lot of work being done on the car here.
Yeah, we're just going from bad to worse. We had, I think it's a half shaft or a shaft inside the gearbox snap in the second to last stage. So we lost more time there, and then I think we were beginning to wonder if we were even going to get the car into service. It was starting to cause a lot of problems inside the gearbox. The centre diff failed. So whether the boys can get it fixed in the next few minutes remains to be seen yet. But no, it hasn't been a good day. I think maybe my mind got a little unsettled right from the start with this lack of engine power and pushed too hard, went off the road, and whether that caused the problem, I'm not sure, but it's a tough morning.
Coming up, Rally Whangarei. The stages are repeated and the roads are swept again, ready for action. So, a repeat of all 4 stages in the afternoon to finish day 1 of Rally Whangarei. Hayden Paddon was now the first Kiwi car on the road. But Roger, a whole different scenario in the afternoon.
Certainly is, Clint. You've got to remember that these roads will be much more swept than they were this morning. The base underneath will be harder, so tyre wear will come into it. It'll be critical. You can see here on Hayden's camera, there's a definite line on the road, but off that line, it'll be very, very slippery.
The leading APRC cars already competed the stage. Cody Crocker's time 15 seconds faster than the morning. Paddon 7 seconds faster again. Now, what can Chris West do? He's on a charge, Roger.
Well, just look how composed these two are. They're so relaxed. They're in total control. I think this is a winning formula.
32, right front.
Coming up to the approach the Hella Bridge. Whoa, Westy gave it some air or what?
Over finish 180.
Down to the finish is stage time. 11.7.8. He's done it again. Mark Taber was just half a second slower than Paddon through the stage. He's keeping alive at second place in the Pirelli Star Driver standings, 7th overall. Back on board with Brett Martin involved in a close battle for third with his teammate Dean Sumner. The gap 7 seconds going into the stage, remember.
Again, let's look at the smooth style of Brett Martin. A little bit of understeer coming into the bridge, though.
60.
And listen to how cool his co-driver Grant Murray is. 11.22.9. He's a bit slower than the leaders, though. Dean Sumner holds the stage record on this road. If he can come close to it in the second run through this afternoon, he can overtake Martin here.
Well, Dean Sumner's been on a charge all day. He's actually driving his car very sideways. You could lose a lot of time doing that. Maybe it's tyres, maybe there's something in the suspension.
3 rights tighter this. 60.
He was a second slower than Martin, so remains in 4th. Kellen McInnes, only 8th fastest through the stage, but remains 5th overall.
250.
Emma Gilmore, 7th fastest on the stage, got the gap to McInnes down to about 20 seconds.
Well, the battle between the two Subarus is interesting. Emma made a slow start, but her confidence in the car is growing stage by stage. Look how the Subarus jumped, and they're dead flat, not like Chris West, where he bounced on the front.
I'd give her a 10. Oh, look at Sloane Cox. Edges past Andre Meyer on the stage. 8th overall behind Tapper. Meyer would have to keep an eye on Stuart Taylor, who was 55 seconds behind him, but making up a lot of time on each stage.
Long 5 plus.
The Taylor team had no time to look at the turbo and service, so he was still driving the car down on power.
Well, he's driving down on power, but he has to keep it in the power range. He can't get off the power range because all of a sudden the car will become undrivable. Very difficult situation here for Stuart Taylor. Oh no, he just about went off the road there when the conditions changed to tarmac.
In the battle for the Kiwi 2, Reeves is still 21 seconds in front of Aaron Cook. In fact, Cook didn't really have an answer to the pace of the young Aussie, but he did pick up his own pace, overtaking Ben Jagger. It was close, though, with Jagger just 3 seconds behind. The other Fiesta of Patrick Malley was another 14 seconds back, but he had negotiated to start in front of that Japanese driver, Ito, so he wasn't being slowed down by the dust or those rollovers anymore. Stage 6, a rerun of the mighty Bull Road. Once again, the road conditions will be critical. The drivers are taking on extra fuel after a refuel and also swap tyres. Dean Sumner holds the stage record, 22 minutes 20, set on the second run through this stage last year. And these roads have certainly been swept because Patton's time was 22 minutes 20.3, just 0.3 outside that record.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Plenty of high-risk corners in the stage, so what does rally leader Chris West do? Does he protect his lead or push harder?
Middle crest.
Well, I think Westy will push harder. I'm sure that team manager Neil Orport will make sure he does as well. Well, just look at that aggression. He's pushing hard. His stage time, 20.2, just a shave over the record.
Also on the charge, Mark Tapper, the first time he had beat Hayden Patton for the day. Dean Sumner was dominant on these stages last year. Now he's made some small changes to the car and service, so can he take his first stage win on the rally?
So look at the commitment Dean Sumner's got through here on these nice roads as well. He's flying. What's this on the road?
Jesus Christ!
That is the most stupid thing I've ever seen, Clint. A spectator in the middle of the road. Stupid.
Unbelievable. And if Dean wasn't so quick to react, that could have been a tragedy.
Well, this is not a spectator area controlled by marshals, so I presume those people you saw live at that property. Now, while the rally can't control private property, every person on the stage is briefed to treat the stage as live at all times. You must never, ever wander onto a rally stage while the rally cars are running through it.
Mate, there was a little girl on the road and she's running down the road and she slips over and falls over right in front of us and we missed her by inches. Out of control. And that was right from the start and it blimmin' gave me the heebie-jeebies for the rest of the stage, eh?
Well, there's no accounting for some people's stupidity, and ironically, Sumner was actually quicker than Brett Martin over that stage, although both were well off the record pace. Martin slipped back to 4th. The gap now 2.2 seconds.
Left 50. Small crest, 5 left tightens. 30. 3 right.
Callum McInnes still 5th, but under pressure from Tapper, who had moved past Gilmore to 6th. Emma Gilmore was closing in on McInnes' gap, now 11 seconds, and she was only 1 second behind Tapper. Sloane Cox, Andre Meyer battle had settled into Cox's favour. Cox 8th, Meyer 28 seconds behind him in 9th. Stuart Taylor still struggling with no power in that Evo. He was posting the 6th fastest times over the 2 stages, but it wasn't enough to make him move within striking distance of Andre Meyer.
100, long 2 right in junction, opens with room.
So 2 stages to go to finish day 1. Just 16 finishers would cross the line at Whangarei. Grant Barber struggled home with turbo problems to be 16th. Never made up the time lost in the morning. He would finish 15th, but he did pick up the 3rd fastest Pirelli driver times on 2 stages, so at least had 2 points. Sean Gray was never really in the hunt for Kiwi 2, but 14th overall and 5th in the class. Aaron Cook lost another position on stage 6, now 13th behind all the Fiestas. After a disappointing morning stuck behind some slow cars, Patrick Malley put in a huge effort to close within 3 seconds of Ben Jagger in that fight for second in Kiwi 2, but he ran out of stages. In the end, a great result for the local rookie. Jagger, 11th overall, second in two-wheel drive. Brendan Reeves, the Aussie, over the moon, 10th overall, first in the Fiesta Trophy. Andre Meyer was getting used to finishing in the top 10, the first rookie as well. And a bonus, his dad was competing in the Clubman's Rally, and he crashed out on stage 2, so he gets bragging rights at home. Tough day, though, for Stuart Taylor, 8th, and watching his championship hopes slip away.
That's true, but Stuart has learned a lesson here that you just keep going on. No matter what the problem is, better to finish with some points rather than not finish at all.
And sadly, that's exactly what happened to Mark Tapper. He clipped a rock and knocked off the oil cooler, so had to stop with engine damage. Sloane Cox overcame brake problems in the morning to finish 7th. Another great result for the schoolboy from Rotorua. Not bad for his first international rally. Emma Gilmore had to settle for 6th at the end, but for her the good news was that the car had come through the stages without fault, and she was close to the first Subaru of Killer McInnes on pace. McInnes was again 5th place, but he was yet to find the pace of the leading Mitsubishi, so plenty to aim for on day 2. Closest battle of day 1 was the battle between 3rd place and the teammates, Dean Sumner and Brett Martin. Once again, the position swapped. This time it was Sumner who dropped time on stage 7 to be 3.4 seconds behind Martin with just 1 lap of the super special stage to go. Martin was first to run through the stage, which was getting pretty cut up by this time, so caution required.
Coming down to the finish just past our camera, Martin crosses the line 57.6 seconds, so Sumner has to go 54.1 to beat him.
Great to see the fans out at Poe Island too. Coming down to the line, he won't do it. 59.5, so Martin takes 3rd place by 5.3 seconds. A stage win for Hayden Patton on stage 7 was some consolation for the junior champion, but it looked as though he would once again take 2nd spot.
Hayden, Chris had a 23-second lead coming into the stage. Have you done enough to get near him?
No, won't certainly catch up 23, but obviously the weekend counts a bit as well, so if we can try and take a little bit off him in here and close that gap for tomorrow. So this stage has probably felt like the best stage all weekend, but Murphy's Law is that the stage doesn't feel good for us, aren't they, Flash?
So Chris West couldn't quite manage a clean sweep of the stages for the day, but in the end, a great result for the Andrew Sims Mitsubishi team.
Well, could this be the turning point for Chris West and the championship for that matter?
So confirming, Chris West wins the day and becomes the overnight leader of the International Rally of Whangarei.
Emma Gilmore in 6th, and another good result for Sloane Cox.
What a top effort too by the Aussie Brendan Reeves to lead home the two-wheel drive cars.
Well, Aaron Cook struggled behind the Fiestas in 13th place.
So a service for the cars and a bit of rest for the racing crews. A good day's work for Chris West.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's something to pay back to the hard effort of all the Sims guys. It's it's like anything, you just got to push on, and we knew we had it there somewhere. It was just a matter of finding it in amongst everything else, and we're reasonably happy with today, that's for sure.
Hayden, well done. Model consistency, 2nd place again.
Yeah, it's not bad. Obviously, we've been getting second a lot lately, and I think it's time we go one higher and try and go on top of the podium. But Westy drove bloody well today, and hats off to him.
Well, another fantastic day of action and drama. Plenty of that to wrap up the first leg of the NRC Insurance Hella International Rally of Whangarei. And once again, Roger Davis, another great drive by these South Island drivers. Gee, they love these roads up here in the Winterless North, don't they?
They certainly do. Well, look at Chris West today. What a performance. He won 7 of the 8 stages, and the other stage was also won by a South Islander, Hayden Patton. Westy first overall, Patton second. South Island, great day today.
Now, real drama for leg 2, looking ahead. Richard Mason, the former leader of the championship. What's happening with the busted roll cage in his car? His chances of actually racing in that second leg?
Well, I'm not too sure whether they'll let him run, but if they will, I could guarantee they'll be rebuilding the car tonight. The other one is Mark Tapper, had a motor problem. The boys are going to strip that tonight and get him back on the road for leg 2.
All right, lots of crackling going on as the cars get ready for that second leg. And make sure you join us when the action continues on the Vantage Aluminium Joinery New Zealand Rally Championship.